guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about rushing. All right, sometimes rushing can be, one of the culprits in our lives and something that we need to address with ourselves and our behaviors in the way that we interact internally and with our external environment. All right, so I'm going to give you, or go down here, a list of things that I have, some outcomes or indications that, you're rushing, the things that rushing in your life basically will be yielding for you. Okay. So if I'm going down these consequences or, the fruits that rushing tends to bear, this is probably something that you need to see the red flags with minimally and start to address in your life. Sidebar. There are instances and times in our life where we do need to actually jump on something, where we don't have a lot of time to make that decision. Yes, of course that happens, but usually, that is the exception, guys. So more than not, we're not in situations where we have to rush, So let's go ahead down the list and talk about why rushing is typically, not a good idea in the situations where you didn't have to rush, basically. All right. Just to be politically correct here. All right. So the first thing that I have here on my list is when you have the tendency to rush on things, that person is typically going to be concerned with quantity over quality. There's a theme of quantity over quality when we're rushing, because we're taking as many as we can get, or, we're being hasty here. We're not weighing our options per se. So this person is more than likely having experiences where they're having quantity over quality. This could explain, I've had so many boyfriends, but none of them were quality. Or I've had so many wives and it never just worked out. Maybe you were rushing to marriage, or, not making sure you had a concrete foundation here. But either way, quantity over quality. I've had so many jobs, but I have no career. Quantity over quality, where you're seeking the jobs that would lead to a career or things that you really wanted to do. I just need something to pay the bills right now, which probably will lead to eventually leaving because you won't be fulfilled over time. All right, so quantity, guys, over quality when we're rushing. All right. Number 2 on my list here is this person probably has a less value for peace in their life. And I know that sounds strange, like who doesn't want to have a peaceful life? But you know what? When we're rushing, this can be grouped under a form of self-sabotaging, if you will. So this person is going to have less peace in their life, and they're having less peace because they're probably out of God's divine timing, because he may have a particular time or season when he wants to release that to you. But when we do things on our own accord and we're not consulting with him, and we want it when we want it, right? Because we're in this popcorn society where everybody, I want it now. Nobody wants to build up. Nobody wants to pay their dues too much. It's like quick, fast, give me the shortcut, if you will. And when we're taking these shortcuts, it's going to lead to less peace. And we're going to get to that. The factors that help contribute to that least peace or less peace as we go down the list here. Okay. So that person is probably going to have less peace in their life here. And one of the reasons is number 3, they're going to have less attention to details. When we're rushing, we're doing something fast. So it will be easier for you to make a poor decision, be easier for you to miss out on details that someone who's taking their time and really observing and taking it all in, they're going to be attentive to details as opposed to the person that is rushing. All right. And along with having these poor details, missing the details and having poor decisions, you may have unrealistic expectations as well, as your perception is that of a lack mentality. Well, if I don't take this now, I may not have another opportunity. Or if I don't jump on this ship, then I may not have another ship, if you will, feeling like it's do or die type of situation. And that's just something that we're psyching ourselves out to believe. Okay. Now, number 4 on here, I want to start out with this Russian proverb, and I'm sure that other cultures have taken a similar saying and, made it their own as well, but I'm just going to say Russian in this video. And that proverb is to measure 7 times and cut once. This is someone who's paying attention to the details, like I said in part 3. They're making sure they're being accurate here. They're doing the most logical. They're being the most educated about this. And then they're going to get to cut 1 time. So number 4 on my list here is this person doesn't have respect for time. And it's funny because we might psych ourselves out to think that I do have respect for time. That's why I'm rushing. I want to get as much as I can done with my 24 hours. I want to cram it all in. I want to speed through the list. Like, I do respect my time because I'm getting more done. But if we're not doing it proficiently, that might have to be redone, or we might need a do-over. We might have to cut again. So, when we're rushing, we're not having respect for our time. We're not having respect for our resources, and we're not having respect for our energy. Okay? Because now we have to, instead of moving on to the next task, we have to redo something. So, it's better, yes, to measure 7 times and cut once. Because then if you miscut it, you might need a whole nother piece of log or wood. We need, like, I done cut it so wrong, like I got to just really start over from scratch here. How many times can you miscut something before we can't use it for what we intended to use it for? Okay. So, as you can see, all of these things are interconnected. So number 5 here on my list is you tend to miss out on opportunities because you're jumping on the first one that comes. Maybe that first job interview, even though it's nice for someone to just offer you that job, but you can do better. You know that you deserve more. You know that there are things that your discernment says it's not really the opportunity for you, but it's a job. It's an offer, So we can miss out on better opportunities by being rash and, by being hasty and jumping on that first one. Now, sidebar, maybe the first one is the best opportunity. Then that's not a rush. Everything in you is saying yes. But, we know when there's a conflict and we're moving out of desperation and it's like, well, something is better than nothing. And you have all these other interviews lined up. You don't have to move out of lack. You might be able to barter with them, be like, oh, well, how long do I have to get back to you? Instead of just saying yes. They might say, well, we definitely need to know that by the end of the week. And maybe that works out because you go on the other job interviews, you get to fill those out and you're comparing it and you're like, okay, good. It might be able to work to you won't know unless we stop being hasty and assuming we got to just take what we can get, So number 6 here, rushing could lead to procrastination. And I know some of you are like, what? That doesn't make sense. Procrastination. Yeah, because we're jumping from one thing to another, to another, to another. So, this can go on so many levels when we peel back these onions, because we're not sitting still for a moment to follow through, to see something through to completion at times. So you might find this person has a lot of starts and the finishes are like really messy, or the completion never happened, so we need to slow down and be more savory with things. Like, I like savory things, all right? And those things take time. They have to marinate. They have to slowly break down. And it's a gradual build up, okay? So procrastination could also be an issue that this rushing person has. Because a lot of times it could be rushing from other things. It could be procrastinating from your shadow work by jumping from relationship to relationship. Maybe you weren't meant to jump to that external relationship, but you were meant to jump into that internal relationship with yourself so that you could have better external relationships. But we're procrastinating on what we need to be focused on, and we have our focus where it shouldn't be because we're rushing. We're not taking a moment to really feel, to really dissect, to really, use that critical thinking and really figure out, okay, where should I be headed next? What should I be working on right now? So procrastination could definitely be a theme here, guys. All right. So, I just wanted to make this video, guys, to speak on rushing to those of you out there who are into the fast life of rushing, and to give you something to think about, to increase your emotional maturity about some of the other things that could be happening inadvertently, And a lot of times the rushing can speak to our youth. When we're young, we just want to be fast. We want to boom, zoom, zip, zip, zap. And we take pride in being able to be fast. But as we increase our emotional maturity and our wisdom, we see the strength of taking our time with things, crafting it, and being particular about it, being exact about it, cutting once. We see that. And how many times have we said, man, if I wasn't rushing, I would have caught that. Or, because you're rushing. I'm rushing to feel loved. I'm rushing to feel accepted. I'm rushing for feelings, So there's a lot here to think about when it comes to this whole ordeal of rushing. All right. So if this video resonates with you, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Over 600 videos here to increase your emotional maturity. I do offer one-on-one coaching. I help people with everything under the sun. Most people come to me for relationship issues. They come to me with business goals and just goals they're trying to meet in their life. I help people with their shadow work. I help give them that perception, the closure, the clarification. So if you need help with any of these types of things, feel free to visit my website, lakiacrawford.com, where you can schedule your appointment. I do voice calls, I do Skype, I do WhatsApp, I do email coaching because writing is very therapeutic, guys. If you want an appointment time that's not on my website, just email Coach Lakia and we'll work things out. I've dealt with people from many different countries, all kinds of time zones. So, we always find some type of common ground. All right. With that being said, while you're on the website, you can see all types of other things that I have available for you guys, resources, the support group that I have on Facebook. The link is below in the description. Always look in the description for things that I have going on and links to get you there. All right. But my website has the Patreon, which is a monthly membership to support the work that I do here on the channel. Thank you to all my Patreons that do support the channel. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate all of the help that you send and the love and everything that you guys do. And thank you to all of the subscribers that give a lot of love to the channel. And a great way to always do that is to always hit that like button and to leave comments. It pushes the content, guys, out into YouTube world. All right. I have wonderful therapeutic books. You can find out about those on my website, and they're also available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. You can get ebook copies, and you can get the hard copies as well. If you want signed copies, you can go on my website. All right. With that being said, guys, have I gotten all of my announcements out? I think I did. I think I did. It's okay to take our time. Rome was not built in a day. It's very true. And I do think that in society, it's been very popcorn. It's like, who can do the most? How fast can you do it? But I'm more impressed with quality over quantity. Okay? You don't have to be doing 100 things. It's okay to be still sometimes. It's okay to rest. You know, all your 24 hours don't have to be do, you know. So with that being said, guys, what do I say at the end of all my videos? Never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And until next time, please take care.